Thank you so much for finding time to join us on another interesting edition of the Medley Show. You know, anytime we're in front of your screen, it's 1 hour of great entertainment, great conversation, and of course, we always bring the best guests to give you all the insight you need to know on whatever it is we're talking about. So what are we talking about today? Today, we are going to be discussing the Olympics. The Olympics, Paris 2024, is kickstarting on the 26th of this month, yes, 26th of July. So we want to know how far so far with Team Nigeria preparedness, who to look out for, what sports are we participating in. I know we're participating in at least 11 sports. You know, this year's Olympics has over 326 events with about 10,000 athletes participating in different games. So Nigeria did make their debut at the Olympics in 1952, but we had our best run in 1996 where we won 2 gold medals in football and long jump. But since then, I don't think we've been able to do better than that. So we are very hopeful for 2024, and that's why I want to find out how far so far. Are athletes going to make us proud this year? Maybe we're even going to beat 1996. Are you as expectant as I am? Anyway, my name is Tochi Futa, and I will be introducing my guest to you shortly. But before then, let me bring you this feature to give us more insight into all that we'll be talking about today. And when we come back, you'll get to meet my guest. Stay with us.
It's the most secretive opening ceremony of all times. These computer-generated images might give us an idea of what's coming, but details remain highly confidential. For those who are too impatient to wait for the big surprise on the 26th of July, here are a few clues. The stage will be the River Seine itself. For the first time ever, the show will not take place in a stadium. More than 10,000 athletes and around 100 boats will sail 6 kilometers through the heart of Paris. The parade will end at the Trocadero, right next to the Eiffel Tower. For the artistic director, it's a unique opportunity.
It's the show of a lifetime, the biggest show on earth. For me, artistically, the set is the most beautiful city in the world, with the Seine as my stage and this landscape that I have to work on.
But what budget does he have? All we know is that the entire games are estimated at 10 billion euros. An extra 2.7 million might be forked out for the performance of 2 superstars. But who? French DJ David Guetta, Canadian diva Celine Dion, or the queen of French R&B, Aya Nakamura. Music, circus, dance, 3 hours and a half of magic outdoors. But what if a storm gate-crashed the ceremony? Is there a plan B? Organisers say they're thinking of distributing ponchos to the 300,000 fans on the river banks. The rest is a mystery.
Thank you so much to France 24 for that detailed report. Now, I'm sure you know a little more details on all that we should be expecting at France 24. Now, time for you to meet my guest. I have in the studio Mr. Seydou Jibril. He is the Secretary General, Commonwealth Handball Association and an ex-handball international. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Medley Show today.
Well, I think it's a nice program, a program to belong.
Thank you so much. And I'm sure you're looking forward to Team Nigeria at the Paris 2024.
Very sure.
Okay.
I'm hoping that Nigeria will do better than the previous years.
Oh, fantastic. I like that enthusiasm. Okay. My second guest is Mohammed Abdullahi. He is the Deputy Secretary, Nigeria Olympics Committee and the President, Nigeria Archery Federation. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, I'm going to start by saying that Nigeria is not participating in archery, even though you're a member of the committee. So start by telling us why.
Well, I would say to you that there are protocols you observe to actually have a game, catalog for an event of this nature. Archery is relatively, that's the modern day archery, is relatively a new sport in Nigeria. We have our traditional archers You want to call them vigilantes or hunters and the rest of it. But when it comes to professional sports or amateur sports practice, it's a different ball game altogether. Actually, it's an ancient Olympic game, sports. But it came to Nigeria in less than about 8 years ago, and we're still developing the sport. But at the moment, we're at the African Championship level.
Right.
So we need to up the game again, I'm sure, by the next Olympic in 2028.
Okay.
We'll probably make it to the podium.
Hopefully, I hope we make it there. But Nigeria is, like I said earlier, Nigeria is participating in about 11 games. We have track and field, we have badminton, basketball, men and women, we have boxing, canoeing, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Then we have cycling, football for just women. Our boys didn't make it in.
Don't worry, just
this time. We have the table tennis, taekwondo, weightlifting, and of course, wrestling.
Yeah.
So my first question is, Team Nigeria, how prepared are we? Preparedness to be at the Olympics and make sure, I remember the last one, there were so many issues. These issues didn't even have to deal with, were not even as a result of the team not being prepared. Okay, we'll get to that. Let's not start by talking about issues. Let's start by talking about how prepared are athletes for Paris 2024. Let me start with you, sir.
Well, I want to believe people going to the Olympic Games are the well-prepared ones among the games that qualify to be there. And will not rely on the freshers, rely on those who are good. And when you look at the list of the teams going to the Olympics, they are more or less an individual event. And most of these lads who represent this country, 80%, if not 90%, train outside the shores of this country.
Yeah.
And that gives us an edge. An edge in the sense that we hope on them that they are doing well in their various locations where they are competing with their international colleagues.
Okay, there isn't a training for everyone, like the entire team Nigeria at the same time. Everyone is training individually outside the country.
Definitely. You see, when you say assembling a player is not an amateur, just as my colleague just told you now. You see, when you are talking about an Olympic event, if you go to America today, 95% of some of them are out of America. They are elsewhere in the Europe or otherwhere, where they will have a good competitive participation.
Yeah.
And for you to do that, you don't rely on your in-house. If today the handball team is qualified, they won't be in Nigeria. Surely they will be in one of these fantastic European countries that plays the game better than we do, because we need to learn from those who are better than us. So it's as a result of that, most of our athletes, the good ones that are outside there, are there to gain more. And that is a means of survival for them. That is a means of their working as me and you are doing in Nigeria today. So when they are there, they have that talent, they have that zeal, the wisdom comes through, and you say at the end of the day, the Nigerian factor plays a role. Never say die.
Speaking of the Nigerian factor, I'm going to need you to answer the same question I asked him, which is, why is Team Nigeria not participating in the handball?
I think now, let me take you back to the memory lane. Handball is a team event, unlike what you listed there. The football male team didn't get it easy. The same thing, we went to the Nations Cup. Frankly speaking, the problem to come, maybe we're initiating, we'll get to the problem issue. I think the handball has that little scrap, but the last we have, majority of them hadn't that experience. The experienced ones have already weighed away. They are now the veterans like some of us here. And for you to build up a team to meet up in Olympic standard, it doesn't take a day. The day the Olympic ends, you start your preparation the next day, till another 4 years. And you know, with our financial building situation in Nigeria, and it's not easy for you to camp athletes in Spain for 2 years. You cannot say go to Serbia and stay for 1 year, or go to Germany and stay for 6 months. The country don't have that enough. And what we do here within the available fund, within the federation, we try as much as possible to make a push.
So is it the system now that is failing the people? Or the people are failing? I need to understand where the issue, where the challenge is coming from.
If you say failing, they say there is this proverbial saying that says, even when you celebrate success, you must celebrate failure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because from the failure experience, gather from the failure helps you to build tomorrow.
To spur for success.
So,
okay.
so if you say failure, I think it's a both-way sword. We can't say the people or the government. Either way plays its own part. But all we're saying is that the government has a major edge.
Because we depend on them for funding as well.
Very
So the Ministry of Sports Development has handed over the athletes to the Nigerian Olympics Committee. What's the significance of this action?
Well, thank you. We have the International Olympic Committee, who are the main organizers of the event, and in every country you have an Olympic Committee, which of course is the organ of the International Olympic Committee. And we also have, at the regional levels, you have the African Olympic Association of African Olympic Committee. You also have the Asian Association of Asian Olympic Committee. So all the continents have also a body. So it comes from the IOC to the African level and trickles down to the national level. Now, in preparation for every Olympic, the Olympic Committee is the entry point and of course the exit point. And properly things are stated out. It's there in the IOC charter. For you to be able to present an athlete or an official at the Olympics, we have a record, and the record is domiciled in the Nigerian Olympic Committee to handle accreditation matters on behalf of the nation,
right,
to be able to secure venues, to supervise the trainings of all the sports federations, to also give you accurate record of any athletes, because for you to appear at the Olympic Games, it is like the peak of your career. So everything that you need to do at the Olympic Games is recorded. And of course, the custodian of that record is the Olympic Committee of every nation. And again, there are statutory, meetings you need to attend, which of course is also contained in the IOC charter, to ascertain who is this athlete, where is this athlete coming from, does he have any disciplinary case, is he making progress, even down to trainings. The IOC gives solidarity funds, and it has to come through the Olympic Committee. So given all these conditions, it's very clear that for every nation to be able to present a team at the Olympic Games, you must pass through the Nigerian Olympic Committee.
Wow. So I want to ask now, there must be challenges.
Yeah, sure.
Definitely, there must be challenges. I want to talk about some of these challenges and how they may affect
performance?
Yes, performance of our team Nigeria. Let me talk about the challenges coming from funding now.
Okay.
So let's talk about that. How, the last time, I remember the last Olympics, there was this issue of, there were even videos trending on social media where athletes had just one uniform. So at night they have to wash it. So that was a major challenge. There's so many things. There were accommodation issues. There's so many things that discourage our athletes. How have we been able to address some of these things to ensure optimum performance this year?
Well, whatever I'm going to say now will be like, this is my view, I mean, as an insider and what I understand. You see, when you have these challenges of athletes not having their jerseys as at when due, no organization is ever perfect. You could have logistic issues, you could have delivery issues, you could have misplacement of equipment and all that. It happens, but it's very, very unfortunate. I remember what you're saying vividly. It happened in Tokyo. We were there in Tokyo when it happened. So, but generally, in terms of preparation, we only keep appealing to the public that this entire thing should not be left for government alone. It's a symbiotic thing. Starts from the athletes, down to the officials, down to the community, down to the corporate, bodies in the country and the government. Government certainly makes provision for sports, makes provision for funding of sporting activities, and you would understand with us that we have well over 35 sports federations.
Yes.
And every sports federation has a peculiarity in terms of demand for equipment and training and all that. So this, the budgeted amount, monies that are domiciled with the ministry is virtually not enough. All we ask the government, and we keep asking the government to do for us, is create an enabling environment where the corporate or private sector will come up and play their role prominently. We've seen it done in other clients. Some countries have dedicated funds, like they will call it lottery, sports lottery, or you call it sports endowment fund, and then it becomes statutory. Yeah, it becomes statutory that every company, every corporate body pays maybe 2% or even 1.5% of whatever profit you make into that dedicated fund, and that could be deployed for funding of sports. So
we're going to get back to this, but I want to quickly ask, I'm going to take a feature shortly, but let me quickly ask Mr. Saidu Jibril, you are an ex-handball international. So I want to get your thoughts on the experience of preparing for a professional international participation, one as this one.
I think, just as he said, I think I will want to align with him. Olympic is the highest peak of your performance of your sport, and if you get it, you don't have any other events other than that. Any other event does not supersede the Olympics.
Never.
It's a dream of every athlete to be in the Olympics. Just to wear that Olympic medal is a dream come true to every athlete, no matter your status in sport. And preparation, just as he said, and as I highlighted earlier, you see, normally the Olympic preparation, the zeal, the spirit from the athlete comes in when that preparation starts from the federation. You know, you start with your domestic normal training, the basics, and when those basics are enough, now it gets to meeting the Olympic committee, who now directs, who now gives the roadmap to the Minister of Sports Development. All these roadmaps are supposed to be aligned by the ministry. And if you go by funding, as he has said, there's nothing in sport that does not demand funding. Even the foot powder you use in your canvas shoes, you need to procure it. Sure. And the federation might not be financially too buoyant. The federation will go a little bit to get strength from the ministry. And the ministry rely on the government for the budget. And the budget, the annual budget, cannot cope with Olympic preparation, whether we like it or not. Let's say the truth.
Then why do we participate every year?
And that's why the minister always rely on the Federal Executive Council to seek an assistance to ameliorate the existing availability.
I mean, there are 4 years between now and the next Olympics. Isn't that time enough to prepare for all these things you've outlined?
Thank you very much. Now it's a transition problem. Now we don't transited from President Muhammadu Buhari to President Ahmed Tinubu. Now, if in his own time this is a preparation, does it transcend to this new government? No. Sport is not like the normal activity that we have in other areas of our lives. Sport is something that should transit. If, for example, he is a coach, he has a program, and he leaves that program, when I'm taking over from him, is now declining to continue. That program he has, he will align with me, just like the medical doctors do. They will not transfer the history of an ailment to the next doctor who studies it and continue from there. In sport, if he gives me that program, I will work on his program and see whether there is an addition. And if his program are in line with what the athletes are doing, I concur with it and I go ahead with it. So, but when it comes to funding, I
don't exactly agree that transition should be a major reason why we'll continue to deal with the same challenges. Nigeria is not the only country that has transition of government. So if we keep mentioning transition as an issue, why we've set preparation for the next Olympics in motion, and the next government comes and it doesn't continue because of transition, I don't see that.
I think I will have to explain it to you.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me tell you, the budget of 2023 is not the same as budget of 2024.
Okay.
The projection of 2022 brings about budget of 2023. Whatever you project in 2023 gives you 2024. The Olympics of the last 4 years Within that 4 years, how many budgets have we interceded? If you said the budget that was available, funding was a problem in this country at a certain period of time. If, for example, now, after the last Olympic, you now camp your athletes, you don't feed them, you don't kit them, you don't give them allowance for them to feel free and do one certain thing. Do you expect productivity? No.
Of course not.
Good. Now, if that consistency is not there, the athletes, definitely they will be decamped. And we're talking about consistency. Sport is different from other areas of profession.
Definitely.
And there must be that consistency. And consistency in sport is all about funding. Sport is the area you talk about giving glory to your country. If today, these athletes who are going to represent us by 26th of this month,
Okay.
we are able to receive one medal, Nigeria will be better for it. The whole country will be jubilating. Why are we jubilating? Because a glory has been given to this country. A name has been set for this country. And the president and commander-in-chief himself will be more happier than me and you, because anywhere he goes, he will meet his contemporary and be full of that buga, and which is what the sportsman is all after.
Thank you so much, Mr. Seydou Jibril. I completely agree with you that even if we win just one gold medal, we'll all definitely be very, very excited. Sure. And at this moment, I'm going to let you go, but I do hope that the next time we invite you on the Medley Show to talk about whether it's handball or any other area of sports that you are an expert in, you oblige us, please. Thank you so much. That was Mr. Seydou Jibril, the Secretary General of Commonwealth Handball Association and an ex-Handball International. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We'll take a quick break now and bring you a feature on background for Team Nigeria at the 2024 Olympics. When we return, more on the Medley Show. Stay with us. The Medley Show.
The 2024 Summer Olympic and Paralympics Games is meant to be the biggest event ever organized in France. The Games are a popular multicultural festival shared by so many people around the planet and represent a new adventure for France, unlike anything it has experienced before. Team Nigeria will be among the over 10,000 athletes that will be competing for medals at the Olympics. Out of the 32 sports, Team Nigeria will be competing in 11 games: athletics, badminton, basketball, boxing, canoeing, cycling, football, table tennis, taekwondo, weightlifting, and wrestling.
Hopeful too are members of the Nigerian team.
Nigeria first participated in the Olympic Games in 1952 and have won a total of 27 medals, mostly in athletics and boxing. The national football team won the gold medal in 1996. As the anticipation builds towards the 26th of July, when the Games will kick off, every participating country is looking forward to winning lots of medals. All eyes will be on Nigeria's female basketball team, the Tigress, who are the current African champions, led by coach Rina Wakama. The Tigress will face Canada, Australia, and France in their group play. Just like the female basketball team, the Falcons will be facing Brazil, Spain, and Japan for their group stage. Will this be a new era after 16 years of missing out at the Olympics?
Amazon is in green. Camacho Quinn second from the left. The Olympic champion's been left a little bit at the start by...
Toby Amushan will be flying the Nigerian flag at the Olympics after the Court Arbitration of Sports dismissed the appeals filed by the World Athletics and by the World Anti-Doping Agency against the decision to clear her of a doping offense. Toby Amushan is the current world record holder in the 100 meters hurdles. Will Toby set a new world record and also lead the relay team to win? The official outfitters for the Nigerian Olympic team has unveiled the team's uniforms for the event, providing attire for all athletes throughout the competition, including opening and closing ceremony outfits, Olympic village gear, and track competition uniforms.
Thank you so much, Semben, for that feature. That was very, very insightful. I mean, I'm one of those who look forward to the Tigers and also Toby Amuson to bring us gold medals this year, only to the fact that the Tigers are they're the defending champions. So I'm looking forward to what they will do at this 2024 Olympics. I still have in the studio the president of Nigeria Archery Federation, Mr. Mohammed Abdullahi, and he's also the deputy secretary of Nigeria Olympics Committee. I want to start by asking you, we're going to go into talking about all this that we saw in that feature, but I want to start by asking you about something you did in Tokyo, in London, and I can't quite remember the third place, something called the Nigerian House Project. We'll be expecting to see that in this year's Olympics.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be better. It can always be better. We set the pace. We did, like you said, Tokyo, Brazil, London, and of course a few other places. It's called a project of hospitality.
Yeah.
We have situations where an athlete is used to a particular meal. And maybe, let's say for instance, a Nigerian athlete, maybe a weightlifter or a wrestler or a boxer, and he eats amala every day in the morning, and then eat akpu in the afternoon, and then at night probably take pounded yam. And so today you take that athlete all the way to Japan, and you give him grass to eat in the name of vegetables or salad, and you keep that athlete there for another 2 weeks. I bet and I tell you, he will never be the same mentally. So what we try to do at this point in time is make sure that athlete does not lose touch with what he loves.
What he's used to.
So that his spirit will remain calm,
in the game,
quiet, and steady, and he'll be able to concentrate. If he drinks Coca-Cola after eating his apple, make sure you make available for him Coca-Cola. Maybe that's what sports him, to give you results. So aside from that, we use that opportunity also to showcase the Nigerian culture, our heritage, who we are, what we have to give to the world. And aside from that also, we embark on investment drive. We use that opportunity to do what you call B2B, G2G, and matchmaking. So before you go for the games, you're already mobilizing, for instance, Japanese who are interested in investing in Africa or Nigeria particularly. And then you also take the people who have investment here on ground and would want partners
so it's
to
like
help
an
them
exchange program.
Thank you, to help them expand
right.
their business. So this is the essence, the overall essence of what you call Nigeria House. We have a coordinator now who is in charge, and she's doing well. I am sure that by the time we come back from France, the story will not be the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if there's one thing that I've heard from you and Mr. Seidu, who just left us, it's the issue of funding. So I want to know how you've been able to achieve this project 3 times over, and with funding still being the major issue in preparing for this year's Olympics. How is that how is that in the works?
Are you particular about the hospitality project or the entire?
No, the hospitality, because that was, I'm glad to hear you saying something different from what we saw on the internet at the past Olympics. It didn't look like they were enjoying all these things that you're mentioning.
Okay.
So I want to know.
Yeah, you see, the stuff is this. There are Nigerians that are doing so well in whatever they are doing, maybe cottage industries, they're doing adires, some people are doing gari for export, and some are doing these things. And they're doing it, no noise about it. They probably are enjoying what they're doing, and they now see a window that could help to expand their business, that could help to give them more prospects. So they want to go on the trip, they go. And they come back with success stories. If your product is good, you need not talk
it
too
sells
much.
itself.
Yeah, because all we do is mobilize the people for you. But you see, funding of this project, my dear, it's purely done on subscription.
Okay.
Yeah. subscription. It's like outsourcing a project. You have the project, but you don't have resources to do it. So you outsource the project. So what we do in most cases is to say, yes, we do not have any money to do this project. The government is struggling to how to ensure that athletes are well prepared, officials are on ground, our statutory payments for hotel accommodation and all that, training camp and all that. So resources are not available. So what do? And we must do this thing. So you outsource it. In outsourcing it, we say, okay, Medley Kitchen, come and run Nigeria House Kitchen. And we give you the franchise, and we tell you the numbers of the people you get every day, so you can do your projection.
So it's outsourced to make it easier.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, fantastic!
So that's why I said by subscription. So what you do at the end of the day, Medley Kitchen, we're going to be giving you.
Kitchen sounds like a
for instance, yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe this will take you to the next level, but we could just say, okay, we're giving you a projection. This projection, we're going to be giving you 100 people every day. They must eat your lunch, your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And your meal is going to cost maybe $10 per meal. So it means from one person, you make $30. So it means from 100 people, you make $3,000 a day. Yeah. And so we could now say, okay, $3,000 times the number of days we're giving you the franchise for. So if you're going to run the Olympic entirely with us, it means you probably spend 16 days. Plus or minus, that's arrival and departure. So if you have 16 days to make $30 every day, multiply by 16, that's $180,000. So now we'll say, okay, our franchise fee is maybe $15,000. So that's not much for it. So we could get that, once we get that franchise, we'll now deploy it to our logistics. Okay. How do we get you visa? How do we get you the place to go and do the cooking? How do you get your utensils and all that? The quarantine permissions, safety permissions, security permission and all that. So this is what we do, in terms of mobilization. Then of course, those who would want to participate in the matchmaking business, the business conference, they subscribe.
So everything is based on subscription.
So purely
through
on
that,
subscription.
you're also still raising money to offset some bills at the Olympics.
That's right.
That is very brilliant.
And then, of course, the overall interest is present Nigeria to the international community.
World, whether it's our food, culture.
And you'll be shocked. What happens? Nigeria food is African food, but it's not the entire African food that Nigerians can take. Okay. But I bet you, if you drop our jollof rice or pounded yam or whatever we drop, all the kind of soup we eat, the entire African continent eats them with relish. That I can tell you.
So let's talk a bit about the sports. We've talked a lot about the food. That is not a major thing at the Olympics. So I want to talk about I want you to give me a highlight, of key athletes or key sports. I did mention earlier 11 sporting activities that Nigeria is participating in.
That's
basketball, football for women, canoeing, and so many others.
Yeah.
Which one should we be looking out for? Are we most probably going to excel in the most? I mean, I want to hear gold medal. I want to see gold medals.
Like where? Like
Nigeria.
Like where? Which one in particular are you looking at?
Basketball. I'm really rooting for basketball. But now you are working with them. You're on the Olympic committee.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I want you to tell me. My mind may be in basketball, but you may be excelling the most in canoeing.
Yeah,
so
right.
which athletes or sports should I be looking out for?
You see, I would answer this like this. For any athletes or for any team to appear at the Olympics is no joke.
Yeah.
And the greatest mistake you will make is to ever relegate anything in your mind and say, this one is, we can do all those forecasts, but on the pitch of play, the state of mind of the athletes
is what determines
the level of concentration of the coach or the technical crew helps the team. So it involves so much that even the spectators, in most cases, the athlete, maybe his spirit is down, and you hear somebody shout, and the athlete takes up from there, and the entire, contenance of the athlete change. Well, what we're about to say is this. I will tell you that we have good teams. The guy we have in the badminton is an experienced guy. He's been to one Olympic before. He's been to Commonwealth Games. He's been to All Africa Games. If I count this Adegbore, the wrestler, you know her. She's very popular. Yes. She's as good. In fact, the gold medal she missed at Tokyo, if you were there, you would whip for her. So virtually all the teams. Is it the basketball team, your team? The basketball team, in fact, by my last count, if they don't come back home with gold,
they have to come back.
Yeah, we probably will get something good from basketball. Same thing goes for table tennis. You know, Aruna Quadri and so they all are world stars. Okay. So I won't sit here to tell you that I prefer this or no. My expectation is let everything come back home with either gold or silver or bronze.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Mohammed Abdullahi. We'll take a feature right now. I mean, we've been talking about those to look out for, even though he has refused to tilt to any corner. But there are some first-timers, or maybe newbies, if you will, to the Olympics. And we want to see Team Nigeria Olympic newbies or first-timers to the Olympic who you should be looking out for. Watch this and we'll be right back.
As the world eagerly anticipates the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris, a fresh wave of Nigerian athletes are set to make their debut on the grandest stage of all. These athletes, hailing from diverse sporting disciplines, are ready to showcase their talents, determination, and the spirit of Nigeria. Here are a few who will be competing for the first time. Rafiatu Lawal is set to compete in the 59 kg weightlifting category. Known for her impressive strength and technique, Lawal has consistently excelled in national and international competitions. Her Olympic debut is highly anticipated as she aims to lift her way to a podium finish and bring pride to Nigeria. Favour Ofili, a rising star in Nigerian athletics, will be competing in the 200 meters. Known for her incredible speed and agility, Ofili has been making headlines with her performances at various international meets.
Oh, somebody looked like somebody moved early, and that echo from that gun is really tough. But it is away, and it's a fair start, and Favour Ofili moving nicely through the turn. And Adeleke trying to catch her for Oregon. That is Iman Brown. As she falls back on the outside now in lane 9, Joella Lloyd, who also made it through on the 100. She's going to get second. It's Favour Ofili winning in 22:14 with the slightest little headwind on the finishing straight up.
Chioma Onyekwere will represent Nigeria in the discus throw. Onyekwere has shown exceptional skills and power in her event. Her Olympic debut is a significant milestone to her career, and she aims to showcase her talent on the world stage. Rosemary Chukwuma will make her Olympic debut in the 100 meters and 200 meters. Chukwuma's explosive speed and consistent performance in junior competitions has marked her as a sprinter to watch. She aims to challenge the world's best and bring home medals for Nigeria.
Chukwuma, second from the right-hand side, does indeed get a good start. Beautiful, long, flowing stride. Watch the clock. This could be pretty quick towards the line.
Chidi Okezie will compete in the 400 meters. Known for his strong finishes and competitive spirit, Okezie has steadily risen through the ranks. These athletes represent Nigeria's hope and potential at the 2024 Olympics. Their dedication and achievement inspire a nation, and their debut promises to be an exciting chapter in Nigerian sports history.
Welcome back. This is the Medley Show, and if you just saw that feature, those are some newbies to the Olympics who we are rooting for and looking forward to seeing their performance at the 2024 Olympics. We are now being joined by Ayodeji Makinde. He's our very own and also a sports analyst. Don't give me that look.
It's always good to be any day, Tochi.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, yes.
He's supposed to be my backup, even though he came in late, but I'm glad that he's here eventually. And of course, we still have Mohammed Abdullahi in the studio, President, Nigeria Archery Federation, and Deputy Secretary General, Nigeria Olympics Committee. So, Ayo, while that was playing, you were excited and you were pointing out most of them, where we discovered them and all of that. So, which of them are you looking forward to seeing his or her performance most?
Well, it will be very interesting to see how Rosemary Chukwuma would really shine at this championship. I was privileged to...
Rosemary Chukwuma is the track and field?
Yeah, the track events. She's going to be competing in the 100 and 200 meters, and hopefully the 4x100 meters of women's relays. I was privileged to cover her when she was still 14.
Wow.
Yeah, she's about 21 or 2 now. Then at the National Youth Games, and of course she competed also at the National Sports Festival in Abuja that returned after 6 years. And it was quite an experience for her to run alongside the likes of Blessing Okagbare of those years. And when she lost, she said, I didn't lose. I've won. To be able to run side by side with Blessing Okagbare, get into the final, it's quite an experience for me. And what did I get for her? It was a scholarship to go to the US on the bill of the federal government, and that's what we're seeing her rise through the ranks. Remember also she was at the Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires in Argentina, and of course competed. She narrowly missed out of the team to the Tokyo Olympics in 2021 because of some of these issues that she had, but consistently she's been at the National Sports Festival, National Athletics Championship, Open African Championships, and of course the World Championship. So this will be a grand standing for her. With due respect to the rest, this would just be a very good story for me to tell.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
So, Mr. Abdullahi, I know you said earlier you didn't want to tilt towards anyone, but you saw that list. So which of them would you be? You've worked with them. Which of them are you like, this guy or this lady is someone to look out for?
Well, if you want me to
it's their first time to the Olympics, every one of them.
Yeah, if you want me to single out, I will tell you that Amusu will give us very good medal.
Oh, okay. Amusu is not a newbie. I'm talking about the first timers to the Olympics.
Oh, the first timers.
Yes.
Well, the first timers, you see, at this point in time, you don't pile up pressure on them.
Okay.
Yeah. It also affects their cycles.
Yeah,
so let them go and do their best. They'll slug it out. I mean, greenhorns, you never can tell. Yeah.
You've spoken like a true member of the committee. It's not going to be heard from me. This person is going to do better than the other person, which is very
They all are good, honestly. They all are good.
I still want to talk about because attention seems to be more on the team sports.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I did mention earlier that we got 2 gold medals in 1996. That's over 20 years now.
Yeah, sure.
About
28 years.
28 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah, sure.
So which of these sports is most likely to give us gold medal? There's canoeing. I didn't even know we're participating in canoeing.
There's canoeing,
I mean, there's badminton.
Yeah.
Track and field is a constant thing. So which of these? Maybe we should look in the direction of these other. Maybe to me, seemingly new games that we're participating in this year. Let me hear from you, Isabel, before I'll get DJ's thoughts.
None of the sports slated for the Olympic is new. All of them have been attending Olympic Games.
Oh no, I did specify that for me.
Yeah.
I didn't know we're doing canoeing.
Okay, well, exactly. Kenya was at the last Olympic in Tokyo. They were also at the last Commonwealth Games here, and of course the All Africa Games. So if that's the only sports you're singling out that you don't know, I mean, just know that they've been part of the train. Talking about prospects, who will give medal, who will not give medal, I still maintain that everything we have here, everything we have on this.
How do I keep bringing these questions? Mr. Abla, it's okay.
Okay, fine. Let's take X-ray of the individual sports. the individual sports, you have wrestling.
Yeah.
They've always made us proud.
Yes.
You also have table tennis. In some cases, they will even be the first to even give us medals. You have weightlifting. Weightlifting, I mean, we just high up there. We got good record there. Athletics also. Athletics, we just mentioned Blessing Okagbare and the rest of them. And then the days of Mary Oyali, Falila Ogunkoya, Fatima Yusuf, and the rest of them, we still maintain that record, even better today.
Yeah.
So we could also get medals from Olympic. I mean, from athletics. And of course, you talked about taekwondo. Taekwondo is also.
Yes,
I hope you know taekwondo anyway.
I do.
Yeah. So and you
do.
know our record in taekwondo, the past record we have. And then, of course, this time around, we're also expecting a better outing because of the current ranking. You see, the reason I keep saying, don't worry, I don't need to, pin it on one federation or the other, is the fact that they already have an existing record. Apart from their current record, you also have the countdown to the Olympic, which are the qualifiers. So for you to qualify and to get to that level, I mean, you're just as good as getting a medal. But when you get to the pitch, it's a different ball game altogether. You might be so super good, but probably you have some psychological issues, or you have some medical challenges, or you have whatever. And that's why every athlete that goes to the Olympic is called an Olympian. Whether you win a gold
or you do not win, the fact that you got there. So I am still going to get your thoughts on that, on this same question. I mean, I understand him being very careful.
No, be careful.
It's
just the fact.
The athletes.
It's just the fact.
But you are watching from the sides and analyzing, and you're looking at these players. You understand how they play, how they do participate in their different sports. So which of these individual sports, not the team now. I mean, I've been talking about basketball, so I have not, but it looks like the attention is so much on them. Let's talk about the individual. Which of them do you think will bring us more gold medals?
This is a bit tricky because if you look at the 11 sports that we're going into at the Olympics, there is a possibility of getting at least a medal in each of the 11 sports.
Oh, fantastic.
If we do the right things. But most times we won't get to about these complaints until after the Olympics of the things that must have happened in the build-up.
Yes.
To it. If you take a look at athletics, it's mentioned some of the names there. We have Toby Lobamos, always going to run in the women's 100 meters hurdles. Surely the timing for the male team in the 100, 200 meters and relays is not good enough.
Timing isn't good enough? Okay,
I mean,
you might want to explain that.
Well, surely for you to win at the level of the Olympics, a 100 meters gold medal, for instance, you need to run a sub 10. Now, what is a sub 10? It has to be a 9.7, 9.8. Good to know that the likes of Usain Bolt and Johan Blake are no longer around, but we'll still have other athletes who are smashing 9.7. So you cannot qualify for the Olympics with a time of 10.0, a season's best of 9.99, a personal best of 9.95, and you want to go and compete with people who are smashing a regular 9.7, 9.8.
Right.
So that's going to be a bit tricky.
But for a bit of an issue.
Oh, yes. So timing surely will be quite a little problem for some of the athletes going into the track and field events. But we can always hope. I mean, we've gone for Olympics where the winning time was not even a 9.9. It was a 9.9. A late 9.9 or something. I won the gold medal. So that will really, we'll wait and see. But let's look at some other sports that you talked about. Now, you talked about rowing and canoeing. Canoeing in particular, I was actually at the games that held in Abuja, Jabi Lake here. That was where they had the Olympics qualifier, and Beauty Otuedo and Ayomide Bello qualified to represent Nigeria.
Right.
Funding has always been a problem.
An issue.
Because they qualified.
It's funding.
Oh, yes. They qualified way back in November 2023. Now, you would expect after qualification in November 2023, by now, they should have been in Europe for about, since January, going from one tour to another. And you know what? These are Nigerian-made athletes.
No imported.
I'm telling you. You needed to see the way they floored their counterparts from South Africa and Egypt in the final of the C200 meters. I was there.
Fantastic.
Now, it's just to show you that if just a little bit of support is injected to these people, they
and
are
by
already...
the support, you're still going to funding.
Funding.
Surely. I mean, it's
funding.
not easy to see. You talk about Taekwondo. Elizabeth Ayanacho will be representing Nigeria. She is a product of the Chika Chukwumerije Sports Foundation Taekwondo Championship.
Right.
Chika literally built this lady to go for the Tokyo Olympic Games in 2021. She narrowly missed out on qualification for the quarterfinal. Now, what has that done for her? Exposure, experience. She's been very quiet in the media space over the last 3 years. Let's keep our fingers crossed. I think she will really have something to give to Nigerians. Not forgetting our weightlifters. You just saw one or two things and you were asking, how do they manage to do these things?
I mean,
don't worry.
I'm sitting here and feeling fly.
One of these days,
someone is lifting.
one of these days, we'll take a stroll to the old parade ground to see them really training. Then you will know that it's not as easy as it looks.
Of course it isn't. It doesn't even look easy.
Oh, yeah, because you don't want to bust your muscles and everything, or,
Right.
or your veins. In as much as we have 11 sports that we're going into at these games, some will be eye-openers to some of these athletes. Some will be consolidating the performances and the exposures of the years before.
Right.
And some, it will be a time to leave a mark on the Olympic Games. But like you rightly said, let's not try to put pressure on some of these people. You are very lucky if you go to the Olympics for the first time and you win gold.
Honestly.
It takes time. It takes time. And for you to be prepared to make a podium finish at Olympic Games, experts and papers have been presented over the years, stipulates you need consistently 6 years of training.
That word consistent,
Consistently
I mean,
for
we
6
use it a lot
years.
here. So why the lack of consistency?
Okay.
Why the lack of consistency? Because I was going to ask, I'm glad you mentioned it, because I was going to ask, what lessons did we learn from the last Olympics? The mistakes, what we got right, what we missed, what lessons did we learn, and how were we able to, implement it into preparing for 2024 election? And we've constantly mentioned lack of consistency as an issue. Why can't we right that wrong?
Well, in writing this wrong, a lot of things come to count here. A federation that has a rolling plan for 4 years, and it starts with the beginners training.
Right.
So what does it need to do? When you do beginners training, they probably go to grade grade D, then you graduate to grade C, then you go to B, then you come to A. Now, in the process, it's done beginners training. It probably has done grade D. No funds to continue. Is there consistency?
There isn't.
Fine, good. Now I am grooming an athlete. It could be maybe because of force majeure. And that athlete could not continue. Maybe he sustained severe injury that sends him out of the camp entirely or out of the game entirely. You have to now groom another person, maybe the second best. You bring consistency is out of it. You're starting afresh. Now, funding, which is, of course...
Again.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Because here you go looking for sponsorship. You have like I said, you have a rolling plan. And maybe after beginners training for athletes, beginners training for coaches, beginners training for technical officers. These are people you call referees or umpire or judges. Now you have grade A, grade B, grade C, and then that is at national level, and he finishes, and then there's a course at the African level, and he's supposed to go because he has gotten to the peak in Nigeria, so he needs to go to the African level, and then you don't have funds to send him at that point in time. The ministry probably, because of paucity of funds, they cannot assist. You don't have sponsors to assist you. You see, you've truncated that guy's movement. So the lack of
consistency is a question of funds?
Funds and, of course, other causes, other factors.
So, Ayo, quickly, before we go, I'm going to need you to comment on why are we not concentrating on, because I see some games that you're living, for instance, swimming. It's not my forte, but I mean, I enjoy when I watch those ladies from China, Turkey, doing all those beautiful stuff they do with swimming.
That's right.
So why aren't we concentrating on some of these games that are seemingly easy to bring gold medals? Why does it look like we're just in a certain direction?
Let me just put it this way. I think it's a reflection of the society we live in.
We have water everywhere, and we swim.
No, not that. I mean, there are sports that are classified as national assets.
Okay.
Because of what? The followership.
Right.
Football, basketball, athletics. So naturally, you'd see the cost of sending a football team to an international tournament will possibly take about 4 other sports that are individuals.
So which is wiser?
Reflection of the society. And then the perception that we have. Do you know that there is a swimmer called Michael Phelps?
Yeah.
Cumulatively, all the medals Nigeria, well, let me not use Nigeria, my dear country, my great country. But this man has won a total in the excess of 20 gold medals at the Olympics. Nigeria has only won 3 gold medals at the Olympics. That's just one individual in swimming.
Wow.
Oh yes, that's how crazy it could be sometimes.
Which is why I am asking, why does it seem like we're not, how can we change that mindset? We're just concentrating on the teams and forgetting that there are other sports that could give us gold. 6 gold medal is a goal. Why aren't we working towards that?
Let's not dwell on some of the challenges already mentioned, but some of these individual sports and the administrators also need to come out. The media need to play a crucial role in promoting them and letting Nigerians know that it's not about carrying a team of 22 footballers, 8 officials to an event when actually you can get that same 26 different athletes competing in 5 different events.
Yeah.
So we need to change the orientation. The media need to play a role. Some of these administrators and athletes need to really come out and show that they are the best, starting from the national level. And of course, at the politics of sports level, which has denied some sports participation at the National Sports Festival. Because there's some sports that are not listed in the National Sports Festival.
Yeah.
We cannot really get some of these so-called best athletes to compete at the international level. If not, we'll still continue to go the same circle over and over again. Yeah.
Anyway, they say time goes fast when you're having fun. I mean, I have so many other questions, but let's just look forward to the 2024 Olympics with enthusiasm, hoping that just like Mr. Abdullahi has said, we're going to bring back a gold medal for every participating sports. And with that, I say thank you so much for joining us on the...
Why are you smiling?
Yeah, I'm smiling. I'm excited. I'm joining you. So thank you so much, Mr. Mohammed Abdullahi, Deputy Secretary, Nigeria Olympics Committee and the President, Nigeria Archery Federation. Thank you for joining us on the show today. We'll also say a big thank you to Mr. Seidu Jibril, even though he's not here at the moment. And thank you so much, Ayo Makinde, for bringing us all the details that I may not have been able to bring on myself. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, anytime.
And with that, we've come to the end of today's edition of the Medley Show. I hope you enjoyed or at least learned something about the Olympics 2024, which will kickstart on the 26th of July and will run till the 11th of August. You take care. See you next week. My name is Tochi. Bye-bye.